Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at ktalnews.com, as well as your Weather Authority app. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces, and this is your Wednesday morning forecast update. What a difference a day makes here, as yesterday, warm days, we were near 80 degrees, and today we have a winter weather advisory. This was just expanded by the National Weather Service. Initially, they had just Red River and McCurtain County in the advisory, but it does look like we'll be cold enough to maybe see some freezing rain in Little River and Sevier counties in Arkansas, as well as Franklin, Titus, and Camp counties in Texas. And even if you're outside of the advisory, we could see some freezing rain, maybe as far south as Texarkana for Shreveport and I-20. No freezing rain today, but there will be a cold rain that develops later this morning. And you'll notice that advisory goes until 6 p.m. Thursday, so we could have 2 or 3 different waves of rainfall here, and each one of those will bring the potential of seeing some ice north and near I-30, so expecting accumulations of ice maybe a tenth to a quarter inch. You get that much ice, you get a lot of difficulties traveling the roadways, especially the bridges and overpasses. So initially this will start out pretty light, but we are showing radar returns here, Idabel down through Clarksville, of maybe some freezing rain already falling in those locations, and you can see the freezing rain coming out of Dallas. So this will be heading up into initially Red River and McCurtain counties, and there will be some more precipitation behind this today. So the weather setup, our cold front is all the way through the Arklatex. It's down along the coastline here. So what's happening today, we call this an overrunning situation, where you get that warm humid air that is down along the coastline. You get that south wind, and that warm air rises over the cold dense air behind this front, and as that occurs, you get that condensation, you get the precipitation that starts to get wrung out along the front, and that's what we're seeing here. And you can see all the freezing rain, as well as the rain that is popping up in portions of north and central Texas today, and that's that overrunning situation, which will likely be the setup for us for the next 1 to 2 days here. So look at your temperatures. Obviously this will be pretty critical. We're in the 40s in Shreveport, Marshall, Longview, so no freezing rain for those locations today, but we're down to 32 in Idabel and 35 in Mount Pleasant, as well as DeQueen. So possibility we do see some sleet mixed in with some of the freezing rain as well. Texarkana down to 37, and you'll continue to drop because we do have that north wind about 10 miles per hour, which is continuing to push cold air into the Arklatex. So I wouldn't be surprised some of these locations maybe even drop off a few more degrees today. We have highs forecast to be in the 30s as well as the 40s. So if we see any freezing rain in Texarkana, it will be very brief and likely early this morning, as we will likely warm back into the low 40s, which is still very cold, but it's too warm to see any freezing rain. But you can see here where we'll be in the low to mid 30s. Good chance that's where we'll see those freezing rain accumulations later today. I'll show you a couple different forecast models so you can see how this will play out. You see, as we go through the morning here, we will begin to see some more rain pop up across other areas of the Arklatex, and there's that kind of winter mix of what we're expecting to be maybe some sleet and freezing rain through Red River as well as McCurtain counties. Again, Futurecast here keeps most of that activity north of us as we go through the afternoon, but there will be another push of precipitation later tonight. You can see maybe a second round of some ice accumulations here near and north of I-30, and I'll show you our in-house model as well, which is actually advertising maybe a little push to the south as far as the freezing rain. But you can see here it is showing a dry morning in most areas, but watch as that rain begins to pop up this afternoon. You can see that frozen mix all the way down to I-30 here, and maybe some sleet into Texarkana. Shreveport, just rain for you. And what Futurecast is showing for Thursday, and the reason that this winter weather advisory goes through 6 p.m. tomorrow, you can see another push of rain coming in tomorrow, which will likely be freezing rain in these locations. But I do think the temperatures will warm up a little bit more on Thursday. So once we get past the noon hour on Thursday, I think that freezing rain chance will likely come to an end, and most of the precipitation, whatever it is, freezing rain and rain, ending Thursday night into Friday morning. Short break from the rain because we do have some additional rain coming back on Saturday. So again, with ice, it's really finicky. A lot of it has to do with the road temperatures. So again, a lot of this may melt off early in the day, but eventually we'll see some accumulations here, and Futurecast is showing a tenth to maybe a quarter inch of ice here along and north of I-30, even some accumulations in and around the Texarkana area. So another thing to point out here, you can see some significant icing up towards Little Rock, Oklahoma City, as well as Dallas. So the next day or two, travel to those locations will be pretty hazardous as well, especially up into Little Rock. Some indications there they could see a half to maybe an inch of ice in the Little Rock area. So again, probably not able to travel into those areas until we get later in the week. We do cool down a bit on Friday. Again, I have your temperatures up to 60 degrees tomorrow in Shreveport, and then dropping into the 50s on Friday. Likely a dry day for most of us on Friday, and then Saturday that cold rain returns, and I think maybe a window there for some winter weather late Saturday, early Sunday. So it's possible we could once again maybe see some freezing rain late Saturday. We dry out Sunday, and looking forward to some warmer weather. We have that next week, starting out next week in the 60s, but it looks like a run of days in the 70s to close out next week.